What's up everybody, Garrett back here, and I want to go through today something that I've had in my collection for over a year now, and it's finally time to open this thing up and see what's inside. Alright, so as you guys know, Ghostbusters Afterlife finally premiered this weekend. It's been a full year for us Ghostbuster fans to have to wait for this movie. And man, I want to go through really quick my thoughts on the movie. And I also want to finally dive into this box that I've been holding in my collection for over a year. Alright, so I'm not going to spoil anything when it comes to Ghostbusters Afterlife, but what I want to just kind of tell you is my thoughts after I left the theater last night. So again, growing up, a huge fan of the first Ghostbusters movie. I mean, man, my brother and I must have watched that VHS tapes hundreds and hundreds of times that we actually had to go and buy a new VHS tape because the old one that we had was all scrambly and stuff like that. I think it was just overwatched. Then I can remember we actually went and saw Ghostbusters 2 in theaters, which was a whole nother experience in itself. So being a huge Ghostbusters fan with the cartoons and the toys and stuff like that growing up, man, anything Ghostbusters, I am totally down. So it's been a long time since I've been able to see Ghostbusters in theaters. So I was super excited for this new installment of Afterlife. So I can remember, I think it must have been like 2019, we saw that teaser of the Ecto inside that barn, and it was saying that Ghostbusters movie was coming, and man, I was super excited. But I did myself a favor, I think, and I totally avoided any other trailers other than that first original teaser. I've avoided any kind of spoilers. I've avoided any kind of articles about this movie. So I went into Ghostbusters Afterlife completely blind. Now, in a way, I'm kind of happy that I did. I wasn't sure what to expect. I had an idea. I remember, I had heard Paul Rudd was in it, and also the kid from Stranger Things. I knew that he was in it. So, I mean, I had a little idea of some of the cast, but I really didn't know what the plot line was about. Based on that first teaser, you had an idea that they had found the original Ecto 1. But man, I will tell you, I did not have many expectations going into this because I did see the 2016 version, and when it comes to reboots or remakes or anything like that, especially with this huge gap of about 30 years, with this continuation of this story that we grew up loving, I didn't want to overhype myself because I didn't want to be disappointed. So all I can tell you right now is that this exceeded all my expectations that I had. I was kind of blown out of the water with how good this really was. I think it just had a great blend of mixing for new fans, getting more kids that were my age at the time when the other Ghostbusters came out to kind of fall in love with this franchise. But then I think it also really tugged on some nostalgia strings with people who were big fans of the original. So I don't want to get into more than that. I will say that this was a pretty emotional movie. I usually don't say anything like that. Movies don't really attack me emotionally usually. But again, just being a huge fan of this franchise and just really loving the characters, as a kid, this was a pretty emotional movie, I will say. Which if they can kind of pull that out of me, I feel like they've done a hell of a job. So my thoughts is I give this movie a rad for sure. I definitely recommend checking this out. If you're a fan of these movies growing up, definitely check this out. If you have kids now, I would definitely recommend bringing them as well. What I like about this too is it has elements of horror similar to the original movie, where some of the ghosts and stuff are pretty scary. So I appreciated that as well, as that they went back into making this a little bit more scary at times rather than just so hokey and, trying to be super funny. Like the thing that made Ghostbusters work, it was serious, but at the same time, the comedic elements worked because it wasn't too comedic. And I think this did a very good job at kind of simulating the same style that we had in 1984. So that's my thoughts really quick on Ghostbusters Afterlife. I definitely recommend it. Now, what I want to do is I want to get into what I have here. This is something I bought last year, maybe like early to mid last year, before Afterlife was supposed to come out. And what this is the new Hasbro Spengler Neutrona wand. So I bought this last year to do a video opening this thing when the new Ghostbusters Afterlife came out. So because Ghostbusters got pushed way back, I actually kind of put this away and said, you know what, I'm going to wait and do an unboxing with this when this movie finally releases. Little did I know it was going to be a year later. So this has been sitting in my collection unopened for the longest time. So finally, I get to open this up and check this thing out. And it couldn't be a more perfect time because if you guys don't know, Hasbro's also doing a back the pack, which means the backpack that's going to match this Neutrona wand here is now up for pre-order from Hasbro. And I think it's got about 20 days left to pre-order this thing. Again, it's an exact replica. It's something that we've wanted, or at least I've wanted since I was a little kid. I can remember running around the house in those plastic blue, backpack and zapper and all that stuff. And to have an actual replica, working replica from Hasbro is something that I've wanted since I was a kid. And you can buy customs and stuff, but you're looking way over $1,000 for those customs. They look great, but they're just really expensive. So Hasbro's kind of meeting us in the middle. They're giving us that replica, that high-end replica backpack that's going to mimic the ones that we've loved in the movies for so long, but the price point is going to be a lot lower than you would spend if you were going to get this thing customized. So if you do not know about that, I will post a link down below in the description for the link that you guys can pre-order and back the pack. So again, I did that, which I'm super excited about, because this, what I'm going to show you right now, is actually going to attach to that backpack. So I have this, I've had it for a while. I don't know how easy these are to come by now. So again, what I'm excited about is opening this now to see exactly the material, the quality of this thing, because I'm sure the backpack is going to be very similar to what we're going to see here. So let me just slice this thing open and we'll get this thing started. All right, so I have this thing ready to go. I'm going to open it up really quick and I'll show you guys what I see. But before I do that, let me just show you the box really quick. So again, it looks like a locker, which is really cool. On the top, it's got that caution tape. It says Neutrona one. This is a really cool box as well. And that's what I always liked about these kind of props, is they gave us cool boxes. So I was actually collecting some of the Matty Collector props back in the day. I think this was probably going on maybe it could be almost 10 years ago. Matty Collector was doing these props. I have like the PKE meter, the trap, the goggles. They used to come in a real cool packaging as well. It almost looked like wood crates. So this is a kind of cool idea as well, that we're getting this cool little locker set up here. So again, let me open this up. All right, nice. So here's what I see here. So as you can see, we've got the Neutrona one, the zapper. I used to call it a zapper as a kid. I don't know if that was the wrong name for it, but we have this here in the box. And it looks cool. So the one thing I will say about Matty Collector was I actually didn't get the zapper. That's the only prop I did not get. And that was kind of towards the end of the Matty Collector line. So I'm really happy to have grabbed this one to kind of complete my replica collection of the props from Ghostbusters. So there's a lot of different things here. I think you might have to put it together. Cool, it comes with a stand. We've got some directions here. Spengler's Neutrona wand. And this pretty much has to do with the new movie, because these are really, you can tell, almost like very distressed looking. So it looks like these have been around or kicked around for years. So I think that backpack kind of resembles the same thing. It looks very distressed. But also with the back of the pack, you can get some unlockables where we can actually get some stickers to make it not look so faded and a little bit more new. So it would really resemble more of the '84 movie that we loved as a kid. All right, so this is really in there. Let me just get this thing out. This thing is really in here, so I appreciate all the caution on kind of keeping this thing preserved. It's not going to bounce around, but it was kind of a pain in the butt to get this thing out. So, all right, I think I got it now. It should be good. So as you can see here, you've got like that wood grain. You can see the distressed in the metal here. I mean, this is a very, very durable, hard plastic here. And I think that it's got some electronic stuff here that'll work. So if you go, that's cool. You got the belt buckle hook there. So let me try to turn this thing on. I don't know if I need batteries or whatnot. Oh yeah, it does. All right, we need some batteries, guys. So I'll be back. All right, so we got our batteries, 3 AA's. Let's turn this thing around and let's see what we got. All right, so we've got that Spengler Neutrona one. Let's see how we turn this on. Woo. All right, there's lights on, people. We got some lights here. As you can see, it's got the stickers on there that kind of faded. All right, this thing is vibrating now. Something's going on here. What are you, some kind of cosmonaut? pretty cool. So this thing is going right now. This is cool, guys. You can hear it kind of humming, very realistic. Now, again, like I said, it's hard plastic. It's very high quality. Oh man, I love that noise. Listen to this. Let's turn it on. Turn it off. I mean, if that does not bring back some nostalgia, I don't know what does. So I'm gonna turn this thing down. Very cool, guys. This is definitely the most screen accurate that I've ever seen as far as anything that's at retail. You know, like I said, growing up, the only thing I ever had was the old, I don't know, what was Kenner, the blue plastic one with the big yellow foam piece that hung out. And that's the one I used to play with as a kid. So this is definitely cool, and it really resembles the other props that Maddie put out. So this would kind of go great with my PKE meter and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do another video kind of showcasing those because I've had them in quite a while and they're displayed over here. This also does come with a stand that you can stand this up and display. Sadly, I don't have enough room to kind of display something of this size on a stand, even though that is totally cool and I would love to do that. What my plan is here is when I get the pack in is to hook this into the pack. And I know the pack has something that you can hang on the wall. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to find a space that I can hang the pack on the wall with this thing hooked right beside it. So again, guys, this is a look at the Hasbro Spengler Neutrona wand. Again, one of the biggest things is that I don't know how easy this is to come by now, but if I were you and you plan on backing that pack and getting the replica backpack from Ghostbusters, I would recommend seeking this out because the backpack does not come with this thing. You need to have this separate. And again, I don't know how easy these are to come by because I have had this for over a year now. It could still be available, but if it is, I would jump on it quick because these things are probably bound to sell out unless Hasbro is smart enough to either add this into a tier with backers once we get to a certain point, or re-release this thing to the masses. So if you do get a pack, you have this, because without this, you know, the pack is cool, but it's not complete. So again, guys, that was a real close look at the Spengler Neutrona wand from Hasbro that came out last year before Afterlife was supposed to hit theaters. So again, we all know kind of how that worked, is that we had all these things start to come out yet last year, like the toys, and they were supposed to do promos with like Ecto Cooler and Twinkies, that a lot of this stuff kind of got shelved for a little while, and it's trying to trickle its way back out. So again, I was super glad to have grabbed this when I did. I will put the link down below to back the pack if that's something that you were interested in. And I gave you my initial thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife after sleeping on it overnight, just to kind of get my thoughts together, because again, it was a pretty emotional ride. And I definitely recommend checking out Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let me know down below, do you have this? Let me know down below, what did you think of Ghostbusters Afterlife? Feel free to spoil it down below. I've already seen it, but I didn't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't yet, because I know it just came out last night. So again, guys, thank you so much for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. If this is something that you guys like, make sure, if you haven't, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. I know it's cutting it really close, but that was just a personal goal for mine. So again, I'm going to try to pump out some cool content. I got a bunch of things coming up soon. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled because I have a real special video dropping this week that brings a lot of nostalgia to me and to anybody who kind of grew up in the New England area. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So make sure to hit the notification bell so you get dinged every time I post a new video. And again, guys, thank you so much for all the support. Best thing you can do is like this video. So until next time, like always, stay rad.